Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. Some time ago I discussed the Rains micro backpack, and I was actually fortunate enough not too much later to get the Rains mini backpack. I've used this mini backpack now for a couple of times, so I figured let's also do a bit of a review of this one and do a comparison between the micro and the mini. I've already done quite a lot of talking about the micro version of the Rains backpack. I will put the video up here somewhere and down below in the description, so you can also have a look at that if you're interested. I describe a bit more how water resistant this bag is and how much water it is actually supposed to be able to take on. So let's not linger too long on that. Let's first talk dimensions of this mini backpack, also comparing it a bit to the micro. The mini has a height of 40 centimeters opposed to the micro, which has a height of 35 centimeters. That's respectively 15.7 inches and 14 inches for this one. The width is 29 centimeters and it is 24.5 on the micro. Again, that is respectively 11.4 inches and 9.6 inches. And then the depth of this bag is 10 centimeters or 3.9 inches. And for the micro, and sorry I had to use a tripod because this micro bag doesn't stand up on itself. This one will, with a bit of balancing. But anyway, so this one has a width of 10 centimeters. This one has a width of 5.5 centimeters or respectively 3.9 inches and 2.2 inches. Where it really makes most of the difference in sizing, it's not so much in the height, it's also not so much in the width of this bag. They're approximately equally wide. They shouldn't be, according to the specifications. Let's actually measure this. So this is about 27 centimeters actually, and not 29 as is specified. And then this one would be about 25. So it's about 2 centimeters of a difference, which I suppose would be around 1 inch. Where it has the biggest difference, and that's also what you can just see by looking at these bags, and it's perhaps a bit difficult to show on this black one, but you might be able to see that is a lot wider. It has a lot more depth than the white one. So according to the specifications, it will be approximately twice as much. That is what makes this micro backpack really more suitable for just carrying for a small laptop or a tablet and a number of other things. This mini backpack is really made as a work backpack, I would say, so it will easily hold your laptop, and because it is a lot wider than the white backpack, so the micro version of this Rains backpack, it will also be able to hold a lot of other things, like for example your lunch if you're carrying that to work. So just to go through the specs of this backpack a little bit more, just like the micro, this is made of 100% polyester on the outside, and it has a polyurethane coating which makes it very water resistant. This is indeed a backpack that you can just walk with in the rain and you don't have to get worried about your laptop getting wet or anything else in your bag getting wet for that matter. It weighs a little under 900 grams, which is approximately 2 pounds. So it is not as light as, for example, a nylon backpack would be. I guess this would actually more approximate the weight of what a leather backpack would be. So not a super light option, to be honest. It has the same opening as the micro backpack, so it closes off with this hook. You have this strap which you can make longer and shorter. I actually made it a bit shorter, so that's why you can see some denting in here, because that is of the original setting. And opposed to the micro backpack, this bag, so this mini, actually also has a pocket on the back, and this is fairly wide and fairly deep, so I can put my hand in and stretch it out. Let's see if it holds a phone. It's unfortunate because it's actually just a little bit too small, I guess, to hold a big phone. You can kind of wiggle it in there if you have a bit of a smaller phone. That should easily fit. Also, if you have something like a card holder or something else that you want to keep safe that is small, your keys, I don't know, that would be perfectly fine for this pocket. Also, it's quite nice to actually have this pocket because, as I already indicated in my previous video, this is not a very easily accessible backpack. Even though it's not really all that hard to open and close the bag, you just have the clasp and a couple of magnets on the front, because this bag is just really deep and especially for this one, but also for the micro that I have. Despite it being white, it becomes kind of a black hole on the inside, and you're stacking things on top of each other, so it gets kind of hard eventually to find all of your stuff in there neatly. With the micro backpack, I will usually just put my stuff in, shut it, and then only open it back up again once I reach my destination, which is usually work when I take this backpack. Moving into the interior, this bag has a zippered compartment in the front. Here I have the price tags, so this is also quite nice to have, again just for easy access. And this zippered compartment is something that the micro also has, and it has this laptop pocket on the back, goes all across the width of the bag. Unlike with the micro, this one doesn't actually have a Velcro tab, so it will not actually keep your laptop in place, but I don't think that is really something that you will miss out on with this bag. Just to talk about the straps for a minute, I'm just putting the micro and the mini again side to side here. As you can see, the strap length on the mini is longer than on the micro, and it's kind of hard to compare. Pulling out my trusty measuring tape again. This is 75 centimeters up until the buckle, and this is about 72, which I find surprising because the way I feel it, the straps on this bag are much longer than on this bag. As you can see, they're also a bit wider, but actually the difference is only 3 centimeters, which is about 1.5 inch, I guess. And both of these straps are already on the longest setting. Let's have a look at what fits in this bag. MacBook Air I have over here, that actually also fits in the micro, but you can see is with the mini that it really sinks a lot deeper into the bag. Well, for the micro it was, well, it wasn't sticking out, but it was just about sticking out. This will leave you with ample space for like a water bottle, a pencil case, a notebook, a full-size wallet, and let's just put some sunglasses on top, and you see this still has enough space to offer for some additional things. All of these things together will distort the backpack a little bit, but because again it is much wider, it has much more depth than the micro. I guess all of these things that I'm showing you could actually fit in a micro, but it really made the bag very distortioning and bulgy and all that kind of stuff. The mini in that sense is much more a workhorse that you can also just toss additional things in besides your laptop and really some key essentials. So let's talk pros and cons of this bag, also opposed to the micro version, and which one my favorite is of the two. So just as with the micro, what is really nice about this bag is its waterproofness. I will easily take this bag out in the rain and I don't have to worry about what's inside of there. This one is really more spacious opposed to the micro. In terms of volume, this is also a 9-liter one, and I think the micro is a 5-liter one, so the nearly doubling in the depth of this bag, while it actually still has kind of the same dimensions otherwise, really makes it that there's a lot more stuff that you can put in this bag. Yet I would also have to say that in that sense this bag is quite big in terms of height and width, opposed to other backpacks that will also hold a laptop, but usually backpacks will really hold much more, like an Eastpak. Those Eastpak padded packars, I think those are 20 liters or 25 liters, and this is actually only 9. So in that sense, if you really need to pack a lot of things, then this bag might still not be enough. But just like with the micro, I just think that these Rains backpacks are really a kind of stylish alternative to the common nylon backpacks that you will see from Eastpak or Kipling. This one just feels a lot cooler to me. But then the cons, fairly similar to what I've already said also about the micro. I didn't really point out there that this is a bag, so this one, because it's wide enough, if it's empty it will actually stand up on its own, but I tend to just lean it against something if I take this bag to work, because the base is still quite narrow, and for a backpack it's perhaps not ideal that it won't actually stand up on its own. What I also noticed is that I will often grab a top handle on a backpack if I'm just getting up from my seat somewhere, and this bag doesn't have a top handle in that sense. You can pick it up by the strap that you have over here if this clasp is not closed and you are grabbing it. Then you're basically just grabbing the flap of the bag, and that's usually not what a top panel on a backpack is for. It's really to just grab your backpack and go. Another con is that because of the material, this backpack is fairly heavy. I think the straps on this backpack should be suitable for enough people, opposed to the micro where I felt that the straps were really on the short side. But it's something that you would have to try out for yourself. When I'm wearing this backpack, and I've been wearing it on the longest setting, I feel like I could actually wear it shorter. And even though I am not that tall, I am a size large usually, so I'm also not the most petite person. And it's been also wearing great just with a jacket thus far, although I haven't tried it with a thick winter coat. So what would be my recommendation? Would I actually purchase this if this bag would one way or the other leave me? I think I would actually be more tempted to get this one over the micro, just because it holds somewhat more. But I'm not sure, to be honest. It's always very easy if something is gifted to you and you really have to think quite hard in terms of, okay, what would kind of be the financial boundary where I would or would not decide to get this backpack. The micro backpack I got for like 10 euros, so that was also not very expensive. I am very happy that this is also in a black color, so if this will stain like my white one has stained, then I won't be able to see it all that much. But yeah, would I get this for myself? Definitely not for 75 euros, but perhaps for, I don't know, half price, I would consider it. I mean, I do quite like the look of this, and I have plenty of bags that are very impractical to use. The thing is that I have a much higher tolerance when it comes to designer bags being impractical, because they overall just are more appealing to me and they just look more beautiful, and backpacks are just a practicality for me. So I wear a backpack if I have to carry heavy stuff, but then ideally I also don't want the backpack to be all that heavy. I wear a backpack because I want to be comfortable, and these straps are really not the most comfortable, opposed to having padded straps on an easy pack. And backpacks need to hold a lot of stuff, just like when you have a tote and you throw things in a tote, they also perhaps sort of disappear into a black hole, but and at least you can open, like pull apart the sides of the tote and set it down and like look into it or dig into it. And also with this backpack, that is not really something you can do. If I'm using this, I have to be organized, and even though this one has a bit more easy access, just because it is a bit larger, this is still one that I just prefer to keep closed while I'm on the road. These are my considerations. Pretty backpack, just like with the micro. I like the look of it, but because I really value the practical aspect of a backpack a bit more, this is something that I at least would not buy full price. And yeah, if I were not to have one of these backpacks, I'm not sure I would actually go forth and buy one. I think for the occasions where I really want to wear a backpack, I think I have lighter, more easily accessible alternatives, so to say. But if you carry a backpack every day and you want to have one that looks stylish in that sense, I think it's also really a unisex type of backpack. I mean, so is the micro, but because the straps are so short, I wouldn't recommend that for men. I think this is definitely a backpack that men can also wear because the straps are a bit longer. Obviously, you don't have to listen to my advice. These are just my considerations, and I would not go forth to buy this backpack full price, I think. So that's it for this video. Thanks for listening in. Hope you found it useful and or enjoyable. If you have any questions, drop them down below for me in the comments and I'll get back to you. And that's what you get for your backpack next standing up. Remember, there's a styling, a situation, and a taste for everything. So don't judge, wear whatever the bag you like. Until next time, or as we would say in Dutch, doei!